Today we'll be discussing Methodology of Humanities Module 4. Module 4 deals with Indian philosophy. Now, the origin of Indian philosophy can be traced back to the Vedas. It is difficult to chronologize the development of schools of Indian philosophy properly, but Dr. S. Radhakrishnan has tried to divide it into 4 ages or 4 time periods. Number 1 being Vedic or pre-Upanishad period, which ranges from 1500 to 600 BC. Now, not many philosophies were there in this age, but then the sublime ideology of India was present. This age is more like walking in the dark. Things were not exactly clear in this age, and a lot of superstitions were also prevalent. The next period is the Epic period, which ranges from 600 BC to 700 AD. In this period, philosophic studies and early Upanishads started to take place. And this is the period in which the relationship between man and God were depicted. Books or spiritual books like Ramayana and Mahabharata are believed to have been born in this age. Maybe the ideas of those books came up in this age. The roots of many religions like Buddhism, Jainism, Vaishnavism, etc. can be traced back to this particular age. The next period is the Sutra period. In the Sutra period, literature and schools of philosophy were developed, and these were developed at quite a fast pace. Sutra was invented to summarize things and make narrations easier, especially in dramas. The next period is the Scholastic period. This period is quite similar to the Sutra period. Famous philosophers like Bhaskara, Shankara, Ramanuja, these people all made contributions in this period. And this was the age in which philosophical thinking was sometimes replaced by or reduced to excessive arguments, which is also called as logic chopping. Next, the schools of Indian philosophy. There are 9 schools of Indian philosophy, and they have broadly been categorized into orthodox and heterodox. Orthodox is also known as Astiga, and heterodox is also known as Nastiga, N-A, Nastiga. And this broad classification is on the basis of acceptance of the authority of Vedas. Now, the orthodox schools of Indian philosophy completely accept the authority of Vedas. Especially the first two, that is Mimamsa and Vedanta, depend on Vedas almost completely, while the rest of them, that is from Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, and Vaisesika, they accept Vedas authorities, but they don't completely depend upon it. Now, heterodox. Heterodox schools of Indian philosophy are Buddhism, Jainism, and materialism. Materialism is also known as the Karvaka system. Karvaka is the chief exponent of this particular school. This school is also known as Lokayata, which means philosophy of the people. Now, this is a school which believes that matter is the only reality in this world, and earth, water, fire, air, all these 4 elements are the 4 external elements. Now, the next school is Jainism. Jainism is sort of an aesthetic or a realistic school. They don't believe in strict divisions of what is good and what is bad. As we are merely humans, we can't understand all aspects of reality. So, whatever judgment we arrive at will be relative. And Jainism also believes that all living things in the world have a soul, and all the things in the world are divided into souls and non-souls, or Jiva and Ajiva. Ajiva is further divided into number 1 matter, 2 time, 3 space, motion, and rest. So non-soul is divided into 5 matter, time, space, motion, and rest. This school also believes in karma, and they believe that karma acts as a bonding agent between substance and soul. They also believe strongly in discipline and values related to discipline. They have a 5-fold system of discipline and values. This fivefold system consists of non-violence, truth, non-stealing, abstinence, and renunciation. Abstinence means restraining from indulging in your desires, like for alcohol or sex. Renunciation is an act of rejecting something, maybe marriage or any worldly pleasure. This school also doesn't believe in God. Rather, they believe in ethics and good moral values. And that is the beauty of this school. Next one is Buddhism. Now, Buddha gave his speeches orally, but three of them, fortunately, were preserved. So, the number one doctrine that Buddha put forward is Four Noble Truths. Number one, the first noble truth is there is misery in the world. And second truth, there is a cause for the misery. The third truth is that there is a liberation from this misery. The fourth one is that there is a path leading to this liberation from misery. And this path which leads from misery to liberation is an eightfold path which enables this sort of liberation and leads you to enlightenment. So this eightfold path which leads you to enlightenment are: number 1, right views; number 2, right determination; number 3, right speech; number 4, right conduct; number 5, right livelihood; number 6, right endeavor; number 7, right mindfulness; and number 8, right concentration. And these eightfold path, this is the third doctrine. So what is the second doctrine? The second doctrine that Buddha put forward is that everything in the world depends upon a cause, and hence it is temporary in nature. Nothing is permanent. Buddhism is a school that also avoided all kinds of extremes. They always went on the middle path or the moderation path. And Buddhism believed that in order to achieve enlightenment or knowledge or nirvana, that is liberation, you needed to go you needed to practice this path of moderation always. The next one is Nyaya School. Nyaya School was began by Gautama. It is similar to the Vaisheshika School. It believes that the soul is bonded due to ignorance, and it is only through knowledge one can get true freedom or liberation. And there are 4 ways of getting knowledge. Number 1, perception; number 2, inference; number 3, comparison; number 4, testimony. This school also believed in God. The next school is Vaisheshika School, which was founded by Kannada. It is very similar to Nyaya School. It categorized universe into 7. Number 1, substance; number 2, quality; number 3, action; 4, generality; number 5, particularity; number 6, inherence; and number 7, non-existence. So these are the categorizations of the universe by Vaisheshika School. Next, the Sankhya School. The Sankhya School's founder was Kapila. It believes in 2 interdependent realities, Prakriti and Purusha. Prakriti is conscious and it changes. On the other hand, Purusha is unconscious and it doesn't change. This school believes that earthly life is painful, and what leads to liberation is knowledge of difference between the self and non-self. And this knowledge can be gained through practicing yoga, which takes us to the next school, yoga. Yoga was founded by Patanjali, and it is closely related to the Sankhya school. So Sankhya could be taken as the theory, while yoga could be taken as the practical course. According to the yoga school, there are 8 steps are prescribed for attaining internal and external cleansing. The 8 steps are restraint, discipline, postures, breathing exercises, withdrawal of the senses, attention, meditation, and concentration. And the next school is Mimamsa. Mimamsa was founded by Jaimini. This school did not believe in God. They believed in liberation, and liberation was achieved through the process of suffering. The next school is Vedanta. It begins from the Upanishads and they believe in monism, that is, the oneness of all things. And they have six means of valid knowledge. So, six means of valid knowledge according to Vedanta are perception, inference, comparison, testimony, presumption, and non cognition. Non cognition means not understanding something. So, these are the schools of Indian philosophy. Next, we'll move on to some of the important terms you have to familiarize before we end the module. And the first term is Jnana. Jnana stands for all kinds of cognition, which means all kinds of perception or understanding. And Prama means true cognition, that is, true knowledge or true understanding. So, Jnana and Prama, the difference is that Jnana may be either true or false understanding or cognition. All are included here, be it true or false knowledge. But in Prama, you have only true knowledge or true understanding. And Prama is divided into perception, inference, comparison, testimony, presumption, and non cognition. Jnana, on the other hand, it is something different from Western philosophy. Western philosophy doesn't consider false or non valid knowledge at all. But in Indian philosophy, we have a space for it, and that is jnana. Now, the next term is illusion. Illusion may be defined as a special case of error of perception. It's a mistake. It is different from memory, dream, or hallucination. Illusion happens when one object is mistaken for something else. Like, for example, you see a coin lying on the floor in between mud or in between sand. It's a bit far off, so you can't see it properly. And you assume or you mistake it for a piece of silver. So you've committed an error over here, a mistake, an error in perception or an error in understanding or perceiving something. This is what illusion basically is. Now we have come to an end of module 4. Thank you.